back to my YouTube channel. Before we start, I do want to say thank you once again for all of the subscribers that I gained recently, and thank you for over 500 views on the origins of Gothic culture. Thank you so much for the comments, thank you so much for the feedback, and I definitely will be researching the topics that I got in the comments and making videos on them eventually, so thank you. So, as you can see by the title, today's video is about table turning slash table tapping slash table spinning. Oh, I forgot. Welcome to, this is episode 3 of the Spooky October series that I'm doing that involves all things spooky, scary, controversial, occult, anything else that fits into that category. Sadly, we do not have the iPad today, but we have the computer. So, let's get into this. Table turning is a form of spiritual practice that gained prominence during the 19th century along with the rise of spiritualism. This practice involves participants gathered around a table and they place their hands lightly on the surface, attempting to communicate with spirits by eliciting movements or sounds that come from the table. As a unique expression of human curiosity about the afterlife, table turning reflects broader societal trends and the intricate relationship between belief, psychology, and entertainment. The origins of table turning can be traced all the way back to the spiritualist movement that began in the United States in the mid-1800s. The Fox sisters, who claimed to communicate with spirits through rapping sounds, ignited public interest in the supernatural. As spiritualism flourished, various methods of contacting spirits emerged, with table turning becoming one of the most popular. During this time, society was experiencing significant changes, including industrialization, urbanization, and the aftermath of the Civil War. These factors contributed to widespread feelings of uncertainty and yearning for the understanding of the afterlife, particularly among those grieving the loss of their loved ones. Table turning offered a communal experience that allowed individuals to explore these existential questions together. Okay, so this is basically how it would go. Say all of us were at a table together. This is how it would go. Okay, so we're sitting around this table and we place our hands lightly on the surface and we ask questions, encouraging spirits to respond through movements on the tables or sounds such as knocking, tapping, shifting the table to certain corners, If the table tilts, rocks, or even spins, participants often interpret these actions as a sign of spiritual communication. This process is characterized by a blend of excitement, curiosity, and for many, a sense of reverence. One psychological explanation for table turning is the ideomotor effect, where individuals unconsciously cause movement through subtle muscle actions. This phenomena can explain the seemingly spontaneous movements of the table, as participants may not even be aware of their own influence. Sort of how, you ever played a Ouija board with a couple of your friends and you ask a question and it starts moving and, it ends up being the two people on the other side pushing it just to scare you. But that doesn't necessarily mean that every time you play with the Ouija board, somebody has to be moving it in order for, spiritual connection to be going on. That's just my opinion on table turning. I feel like the spiritual world is definitely something that is real, and there are many divination tools that you can use to connect with people from the other side. You just gotta be careful, dude. The combination of social interaction, expectation, and group dynamics contributes to the compelling nature of the experience, making it both psychological and a spiritual endeavor. Table turning quickly became a cultural phenomenon transcending its initial spiritualist context. It attracted people from various backgrounds, including skeptics, enthusiasts, and those simply curious about the supernatural. Public seances and demonstrations of table turning became popular events, often hosted by mediums who claimed to facilitate contact with the spirit world. Listen, if I was invited to one of these, or mind you, in the public, you go to freaking Fright Fest or you go to something in the public. Imagine seeing a seance publicly. I would love for that to happen. I don't think that happens enough anymore, actually. The practice also held social implications, particularly regarding gender roles. Many mediums were women who found empowerment and agency in their roles as communicators with the dead. And a little fun fact, back in the days, way back in the days, shamans were not men. They were women. All of the shamans were women, and in Korea, the shamans are still women. I have a book about should I? Yeah, I'll show you. It is called Shakti. What can you? It's called Shakti Woman, and yeah, it's about female shamanism. And if you're a woman and you're spiritual, it doesn't even matter. Even if you're not a woman, if you're interested in stuff like this, I think you should definitely read this book. It's very informative. Shakti Woman. Okay, take a screenshot or whatever you gotta do. All right, let's continue. Allowed women to step into the public sphere and challenge societal norms, positioning them as figures of authority within the spiritual community. Despite its popularity, table turning faced significant criticism and skepticism. Many detractors attributed the movements of the table to trickery, psychological manipulation, and once again, the ideomotor effect, rather than actual spiritual communication. Notable figures, including scientists and magicians, sought to debunk the practice, leading to a more cautious approach among the public. As the spiritualist movement waned in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, table turning began to lose its appeal. However, it continued to be practiced by some as a means of exploring spirituality and the unknown. Today, table turning retains a place in contemporary spiritual practices as individuals seek new ways to connect with the mysteries of existence. I did find an experiment called the Philip experiments done by George and Ira Owen, and they were researchers under Toronto Society for Physical Research, and this was in 1972. And basically, they invented a character named Philip, who they hoped would be able to make contact with. Right. I don't know how that would. I don't quite understand that part because they invented a character named Philip. I don't know if it's like they're just putting a name out there, if there was a spirit to contact them and name the spirit Philip just because. It continues saying, having no success, over the course of the year, the Owens encountered some famous person's work, Bachelador's work, and decided to see if communications would come from Philip if they engaged in a larger table turning session. The session took place in full light and was recorded on video, and the table produced raps and unusual movement that was not caused by the participants. So I'm guessing probably in bigger groups is when the spirits will come through, but then that would also be the same reason why people thought it was fake, because the more people, the more likely it is for somebody to, use their knee, move the table a bit. The gauges showed that upward pressure was exerted by the table at times, and nobody's fingers were underneath it when the table was moving. And they said at times the table tilted at a sharp angle and so forcefully that even a person sitting on it could not force it down. It also says no full levitation without physical contact was achieved. However, the group was certain that the effect was anomalous and could not be accounted for by muscular pressure. So I guess when it was just the two of them, it didn't work and they needed a bigger group, but I found that interesting, Sure. But that's my little history lesson for you guys on table turning, table tapping, table spinning, table flipping. I don't know why, but for some reason I want to give you podcast recommendations, like spooky podcast recommendations. 4. Ooh, my top 4. And this is not in any particular order, okay? Let's read. Very good. I mean, everything I recommend, I say very good. So I don't know if you guys will believe me. Radio Rental, Be Scared, and which is Be Scared is Be Busta, and number 4, Mr. Nightmare. I started out with Mr. Nightmare when I was a young little child in middle school, and it just went up from there. I really like listening to them, and I think you should listen to them too. Be Scared, you get new episodes every Wednesday. This is not sponsored, so I don't know why I'm telling you all of this. Joel from Let's Read, he goes live every Sunday and Monday. Oh, and today's Monday! So yeah, we have a live stream tonight. Some spooky podcast recommendations. they're not there for you. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, please comment, please subscribe, and please share if you know somebody that is interested in the type of content that I am posting. Thank you so much once again. Thank you so much for the subscribers once again, and all the comments and all the support. I love it, and I am very appreciative. Do come again. I hope you have a great day. I hope a great night. If you got to go to work after this, have a good shift. If you just came off of work, have some mac and cheese and I don't know, pina colada. Ta-ta.